Hello.
Hey everybody.
Hi.
Here for session 4 of Darknet.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine here.
My background.
Nothing to
There
see.
you go. Nothing back and knocked over my green screen. It'll be good. It's fine.
Cool.
Keep talking. Somebody talk.
For my alcohol, there we are. Oh, so good.
We have all come together yet again, except for poor Dr. Discord.
That guy.
That
What
guy.
is up with that guy?
We have
your last mission. Not here now.
we have
Double
spent
agent.
all sorts of points. Jam has raised computer hacking, computer programming, area knowledge, strength. So you're now able to carry all kinds of stuff while you're flying. Shouldn't have any problem that you had last week or last game.
Although it is fairly hilarious that every time I try to carry someone to safety, it completely fails, but still.
It is funny. It is humorous. Bill added the null lasso that you both found, that you all found at the last game, to his personal arsenal as signature gear. So that now belongs to Hex, and he will be trying to work all sorts of techno wizardry on that, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And Aegis now has a dancing shield, which she is able to use to cover people that aren't necessarily in the hex next to her, which is what she's been limited to before. So let's see. Last game, you were tasked with rescuing Gregory Good, who is running for small-time councilman in one of the remote zones. And he was very publicly kidnapped by a four-armed cowboy atop a chrome horse, something you don't really see every day. You managed to track down the ne'er-do-well to a newly constructed western zone, and after some kerfluffle there, you managed to rescue him, get him out, take him back to the rest of the zone as a free man.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped him off to Mortimer, who thanked you much for your time and sort of took Gregory under his arm and beat a hasty exit, leaving you to spend your gobs and gobs of cash, which you've been accruing. You have probably earned more in the 2 or 3 jobs that you've done for Mortimer than a year's worth of criminal activity prior, so you're making out okay.
This is the big leagues.
This is the big leagues, that's right. Did anyone have any questions about characters? Anything that happened before, points spent, anything like that?
Don't think so.
All right.
We had some questions about world.
Yes, please.
Because you had said a session or two ago to let you know if we needed any clarification on the world we're in. And Bill and I said no, and then Bill and I were talking about it, and we couldn't figure out whether something that we had talked about was in the real world or in the zone. And then we realized we didn't have as much of an idea as we thought we had about the social structure of the real world around the zone.
Oh, Lord.
So the question that the thing we couldn't remember was whether it's just in the zone that the city, that is the zone walled off and everything beyond it kind of fades out, or is it the real LA Metroplex that is walled, and then there's sort of a Oz-like desert surrounding, a lawless desert surrounding it.
It is. It's the city is walled, but not in the sense that everything outside. It's not Mad Max. It's not just these isolated cities. People don't tend to live in the in-between areas, not because it's radioactive or there are roving gangs of mutants, anything like that. It's just there's nothing there. All the real world infrastructure has had to shrink and center on these population centers. So it's not that people are forced to leave, and there are still, you know, the random smattering of Luddites who don't want the technology, or people off on a quest to find themselves, or just survivalist types, what have you, sort of interspersed around the country. But the vast majority of population are in the cities. So it is walled, but not in the sense of like a protective dome, like Judge Dredd or anything.
Right. Is it the norm for cities in the country, for cities across the country now to be walled? Or is LA special?
Well, LA is special, but the most of the cities do have do have walls. Um, there was kind of a panic as infrastructure started failing. People thought, well, this is it. This is the world that we have always dreaded from the movies is going to come to pass. So we need to build these gargantuan walls. And it turned out none of that really happened. People just sort of accepted the new world order, picked up and moved to the urban centers, and everything else sort of fell away.
Interesting.
So the zone itself has walls, but the LA of the zone is many orders of magnitude larger than the actual city. Uh, it has walls only because at some point the code runs out and you're left with this just sort of featureless plain.
Okay.
But they could code that at any time. They could just keep expanding infinitely. There's no real reason not to.
It's kind of like, was it Carcassonne, where it could expand in any direction if that's what happened.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
Cool. So you're still not able to reach Dr. Discord, assuming you've been trying to. His communications continue to go to his messaging system, his voicemail. So you've not heard from him. And in fact, since you dropped off Gregory Good, you won't actually hear from Mortimer for a week or two. So what do you guys get up to in the interim? Apparently, you're on a little vacation.
I will call a meeting at the Nexus, where we probably find out that Dr. Discord doesn't show up.
I will spend a lot of time trying to investigate, trying to find out more about Mortimer.
Okay.
Because he's the one telling us what to do, and I like being anonymous, but I don't like other people being anonymous. That is not comfortable or cool. It's
It's funny how that works.
Oh, and I do a side check, keep a side eye out to find out if a fashion crops up after all the news feeds. Does a fashion crop up for chrome horses in the zone?
As a matter of fact, it does. Yes. You can get in on the ground floor of that. How long do you wait before you call the meeting?
Probably if we haven't been contacted in 4 or 5 days for a meeting by Mortimer, then I would call a meeting and try to pick a time that seems to be when the other people show up. So like early evening or evening. Daytime does not seem to work for them for some reason.
Yes, because they are productive members of society. Is anyone not attending the meeting? If Hex reaches out to you,
I will attend the meeting.
Excellent. So
Sure.
at some point, almost a week on, you all get together in the Nexus. During that week, you have seen Gregory Good start popping up on the vid feeds. His campaign has been given a nice little overhaul. He himself looks much more polished and sort of put together than he did before. And so they've started running ads for his councilman's race. Expensive ads, well-produced ads. So you've seen him kind of popping up here and there. But you are all at the Nexus. You've all come together and met, except for Dr. Discord.
It seems the doctor, again, does not join us. I wonder if anything has happened to him. Again.
Probably.
If we're not being paid, I don't care.
There is a question that I have about what we are being paid for, so perhaps Aegis, this will interest you. It seems that all we have done is rescue people. That is unusual in what I have done previously.
Indeed.
That does seem like kind of a good guy operation, now that you mention it.
Now, perhaps we are good guys now? I don't know. Usually when you have a uniform like this, you're the bad guys. But as Aegis has said, as long as I get paid, I tend to not care. I would be interested to know if there's a connection between these people we have been rescuing. I mean, the first time with Dr. Discord, it seemed to be an audition. But interestingly enough, it was an audition to save someone. And that then appears that is what we've been tasked with doing, is going and retrieving things and bringing them back, whether it was data or a person. And so I am wondering if there is something more we can put together by what's happened to be more forewarned should something go bad.
Well, it seems that perhaps the most recent, the politician, has changed a bit since we rescued them. So perhaps we're not rescuing them so much as just delivering them to people who can use them.
Who is using the politician?
I don't know, but it seems that he has suddenly come into money that is suddenly supporting him. Does it not seem strange that someone with lots of money pays us to get him, we deliver him there, and suddenly he has influence and ability to buy very expensive ads?
No, it seems like politics. But
Exactly.
Does it say on the vid feeds? I will know from having watched his ad. Does it say on the vid feeds who is sponsoring his ads?
It's a very generic sounding, paid for by the Committee for the Re-election or the Election of Gregory Good.
Well, I suppose that it...
As to who those people are, because there's always somebody behind those names.
So you don't want the public stuff, you want the hidden stuff. So that would be computer hacking.
Yes, I want the names of people.
That's in your wheelhouse.
Where the money comes from. I want to know where the money goes.
So let's see, we're looking at a 12, yeah?
Okay. 12 against computer hacking, yes.
Cool. So you need to make by 4 or more.
I roll a 3.
Ooh. Well, we're off to a start. So you begin researching this committee for the election of Gregory Good, and it immediately becomes apparent to you that the security and the layers of obfuscation surrounding this committee are well above and beyond what you would expect for a councilman's race for some podunk zone that no one really cares about. However, since you rolled a 3, it takes you some time, but you do manage to disentangle all of these myriad threads, shell companies, all that stuff. And they all eventually come back to an anonymous terminal farm in one of the industrial parts of the zone.
Turtle farm?
Terminal farm?
A terminal farm.
Oh, terminal farm, thank you.
Okay.
So
Anonymous turtle farm.
Amazing. I didn't know there was that much money in turtles. Changing
Actually, you
careers.
can hide a lot of money in a turtle.
So you have at least a virtual address to go with this committee. Through all of the various iterations that you have been researching, there have been names and phone numbers and contact information and all that stuff, none of which has panned out to be an actual person. The only thing that seems real, even though it's virtual, is this address. You were clearly not ever intended to know that this particular terminal farm is used to promulgate all of these ads and get them out there, get them uploaded.
Is the terminal farm IRL or in the zone?
It is in the zone.
Okay. Huh. Well, we could always go look and see who's, you know, who's putting them up front if we really care.
Indeed.
I want to know more about has all my digging. So I've been looking into this guy Mortimer who's sending us off on all these errands.
Yes.
Because he's where all the money is. Well, I'm telling those guys. So, guys, I've been looking into Mortimer, or at least trying to look into Mortimer, and because honestly, he's where our money is coming from, but I don't think it's coming out of his own pockets. I mean, I guess it could be. He's got enough money to buy a seemingly infinite number of goldfish drinks all the time, but you know.
Oh, he's the fixer. He is working for someone else.
So I'm trying to find out who he is and who he works for. And
I think also that Hex had a good idea of finding if they are connected to one another, the people we've been saving.
Oh, yeah.
Because if we find links between them and also links with this thing that you have found with your hacking, that would be interesting.
Well, do I know anything about Mortimer?
Okay, so the hacking roll for Mortimer would be at a -8 normally, but you do get a +5 for taking a week to do it, as opposed to an hour or even a day. So that brings your grand total to a -3. So 12
so
minus
I'm
3.
at a -3 and off of 12, so I'm at a 9.
Yes.
Okay.
And if Hex throws in and assists you on some of that, he can possibly boost or hinder, depending on how he rolls his own hack.
Right, my hacking's a 12. I can help if you'd like. I can try.
I like help.
All right, let's see what I roll.
You're good. I want your help.
Do
Yeah.
the thing.
I rolled an 8.
Nice. So your hacking skill is 12, so you succeeded with an 8. So that gives you, Jam, a +1. So now instead of a
Right. Now I'm
-3,
at
you're
10.
-2. Now you're at 10. Right.
Where's my die?
It's a
Okay.
nice little 50-50 coin flip of a roll.
Right. I'm rolling my dice, and I make a 9. 2 4s and a 1.
Very nice. So, and in the culmination of a week-long research fest, it all comes down to this roll, and you make it. So you turn up some information on Mortimer, specifically one of his. He doesn't seem to be the man. He works for a wizard named Christos the Mad, and they have been doing virtual crimes for many years now. Christos the Mad refers to himself as a techno mage. His headquarters is medieval themed. Everything about him is sort of fantasy oriented.
Nerd.
He is a big nerd.
Don't know.
However, he's a very skilled nerd, and he is frequently sought after for his abilities in coding.
Nice.
Did I uncover any of what, if they've been doing crimes together for years, do I have any idea what any of those might be? What sort of crimes? I'm not looking for specific. Has he ever been brought up on technomage charges?
Burn him. He has never been officially charged or punished for any of these crimes, but they tend to be things like assassination of avatars. It is possible, if you're good enough, to completely just destroy someone's avatar. And they can eventually get a new one issued, but you're usually looking at months and months offline with no ability to interface with anything. So for many people, a fate worse than death. So he's been linked to avatar assassinations, extortions, kidnappings in the zone, all in the zone. Not a very nice guy.
So I share this information.
That sounds like someone we do not want to cross.
Well, it sounds like someone we're working for.
Yes. Until you're not working for them anymore.
It seems strange that.
Good. No, go ahead.
It seems strange that someone with such great abilities themselves would farm out their work, even to ones as good as us.
He might be agoraphobic.
Or perhaps what we are doing he considers to be beneath himself?
Possibly.
Sure, or proud. Yeah, that's another option.
Or there may just be too many things for him to do all at the same time if he is on some timetable.
Possibly.
It seemed important. When did the elections take place, Mook? When are those coming up?
About a month. 3 or 4 weeks from now.
And how often do they generally take place? Are they regular or are they called elections?
Every 2 years.
Seems odd that saving the politician that they're running would be so low on their priority list that they would outsource it.
Or perhaps it was more dangerous than they were willing to do themselves. Or if someone was caught, it was important that it was not Christos.
Indeed. It seems
or
also...
maybe they want him to see who's involved. I mean, Greg. I mean, if he works for him, then and it was them, then he probably knows them. And if they showed up to do what we did, he would probably think a little differently of them than if it was just some random weirdos like us.
Very true. Yeah, it seems subterfuge and keeping his identity secret is the most obvious reason.
Perhaps they have chosen this politician because he is out of the way, and I'm wondering if his either being in office or out of office would cause some important but mostly unnoticeable change in the government or the structure of it that would allow whoever controls this one person to have far greater influence than one could realize. He was kidnapped by someone else first, and that was not an inexpensive endeavor, the Western Zone.
Was he?
Well, he was held there.
Yes, but do we
Yeah,
know...
but what if it was all the same guys?
What if they needed someone else to save him for the optics?
Mm.
It seemed, would that not make many people who would never have paid any mind to the election pay more attention?
Maybe.
Or it could make him much more amenable to helping whoever saved him.
Indeed. Although it seems that someone is already lining his pockets, or at least his campaign's pockets, royally.
Well, that would be Christos now, because that is who we saved him for. I fear it is a tangled web that Mortimer the spider weaves, and I just do not wish to be caught in it.
Perhaps we should try to find Mortimer to ask questions.
What do we want to know?
I do not know if I wish to ask Mortimer a question directly, if I can find it out without having to ask him.
I would like to know if Mortimer, I have a question for Mortimer. Do you intend to hire us again? And if so, when and for what?
How much?
There's a question.
Do we have a way to contact him, Mook, or is it all incoming poll?
Yeah, after the first mission, he gave you a contact.
Mm-hmm.
Though I don't think you've used it yet.
No. Well, I am not the best with speaking to people. Perhaps Jam should do this.
Do what? I'll go have a drink with the guy.
Yes, you are good at that.
Yes, I am good at that.
You're very good at drinking.
Thank you. I've been working on it for at least 2 years.
I should not be the one to talk.
Yes.
Well,
do you wish to contact him?
Yeah. What kind of form of message do we have? Can we send times? Can we send? Wouldn't be email. That's idiotic. Our grandparents use email. It would be, but does it have to be live contact?
Nope, you can leave a message, send video, audio.
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, I'll send video. I really don't want to talk to people if I don't have to.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Contact device, that's too stressful.
If he works for Christos, you could send a raven or an owl.
Or a goldfish.
Oh, a talking goldfish. He would like that.
Would probably try to eat it. But no, I'll send him a hologram.
Okay.
Whatever effect we have. I just want to say, hi, it's been a week. I know you said you'd be in touch with us, but our schedules are getting booked up in some ways, and love to get together and chat for a little bit about what you think might be going on in the next month or two, so that we could block off time if we need to. Some of us have a little more real life constraint than we might like to have, and would like to be able to set aside the time for the work you need done that would make it so that we can do a good job for you, if that's what you want. Want to get a goldfish drink? Period.
Very nice. So you send that off into the void. Are you doing anything while you wait for the answer, or just sort of milling about the Nexus?
You mean do about him?
Well, no, you sent the message, but while you're waiting to hear back, is there any other threads that you would like to pursue?
I would like to very low key, so I want to basically have some security installed in my hovel apartment.
Okay.
But I can't have something like a big security door come and installed, because that's too much of a tip off. So it has to be something I can like order and install myself, which is also limits since I can't get above, a certain height.
Right.
So I don't know if there's some kind of intruder stunning or elimination systems that are available in the real world that are,
So you can buy non-lethal measures such as shocks through the door, that sort of thing, tasers, immobilization.
right.
On the black market, you can also get lethal options for pretty much anything that you can think of. So if anyone opens your door, it'll just take them out.
Yeah, I'll buy some non-lethal. I'll buy non-lethal for the front door and for my room door.
Okay. You want shocks or gas or what?
Shocks are probably good. Gas
Okay.
seems bad. It's not real easy for me to get away if something goes wrong with the gas canisters.
Good point. So you have been doing this over the past week as well?
Yeah. This would be that. Yeah, that time frame that happens in there. Yeah.
Cool. So your apartment. You made an appointment. They came, or the package came. You spent last night, I guess, sort of setting everything up. So your apartment is now protected.
Good. Just wanted to, because I'm not in a flashy place, so I can't put anything flashy on there, but I'm increasingly concerned about my personal security.
Mm.
So I'm far less able to do anything about that than I am in the Darknet.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy, right? Being away from your body, really, for
Yes.
hours at a time. Yeah.
Do we, how long do we have while we're waiting for an answer
Mortimer.
back?
It's been about 10 minutes and you haven't heard back, so seems like it could be a while.
So I'm gonna go take a little fly out, because I have time.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just want to take a spin out. Do you remember? I just want to take a spin out to where we found Dr. Discord out at Westworld.
Okay.
Um,
Farmville for Dr.
Pardon?
Discord. Farmville?
Yeah.
Dr.
Farmville.
Discord? Yeah.
Yeah, I want to take a fly out to Farmville.
Okay.
And see if, I don't know. I just want to see if he's in the same place again. If he got himself caught in the same damn pit trap.
He's in the barn again. God damn it.
Is he in the barn? And also, are there any chrome horses? Are there like cowboys and chrome horses out there? Is anybody roaming around Farmville that looks like the people who kidnapped, like the associates of, or using the exact same thing as the people who kidnapped Gregory Good? Because if it's all together, then like the most logical place for it to be happening is Farmville.
Gotcha.
And I don't like just sitting around waiting for callbacks.
Right. So you take a little jet over there. You fly over to Farmville. You do see in the urban areas of the zone, you do see a few chrome horses, but the people riding them are pretty clearly wannabes and not any kind of hardened criminals. They're just kids out for the most expensive stuff that they think looks cool. When you actually get to Farmville, the buildings are still the way you left them. That is to say, on fire and blown up. And there is no sign of Dr. Discord.
Nice. Weeks have gone by and they're still burning. I like
that.
That's where the simulation is stuck, right?
Yes, that's right. It's just on a loop.
Nice.
Excellent.
So on the way back to the Nexus, you get a return communique from Mortimer. He says, sorry, things have been crazy. He's not, this isn't audio. This is old school text, written word. Sorry, I've been out of touch. Big smiley face. Should have more work for you in about a week. Big thumbs up. Hope you can wait that long, comma, but we can get a drink anytime. Signed, Mortimer.
Well, so I'll relay the message. I'm do my best to relay the message and send it on to my cohorts at the Nexus without actually flying into anything.
Fingers crossed.
Because texting while flying probably. There's a reason why we don't use text anymore.
That's right. You managed to read the message, forward it on without crashing into anything. And a few minutes after the two of you get the message, she returns to the Nexus. So you are all back together yet again.
Nice.
A week. Another week.
Mm-hmm.
Should we look for Discord?
Well, Is it normal for him to be out of touch this much? I don't know the guy very well, aside from work. Is he normally flaky?
I feel like it's not that unusual for any one or even two of you to not really be in touch for a week or two at a time. Things come up, real life.
Well,
there's nothing to lead you to think there's foul play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So aside from that one, fix that he got himself into, he's not where we left him last time. I went and looked for him. I looked for him once. I'm not overly inclined to spend a lot of time looking for him. On the other hand, do you think we should all go get a drink with Mortimer? Got like a week. Got a free evening. Drinks are on me.
I will go if you're
Oh.
paying.
Yes, that sounds like the right price.
I'll send a text. Shaking my head the whole time. I will send a text to Mortimer. I will send a text to Mortimer saying, "That's fantastic. We're not doing anything tonight. Do you want to get a drink? Meet us at the usual spot, just to hang out. No expectations."
So you send that off, and he sends back an actual audio file, and says, "Hey, it's Mortimer. That sounds good. I will see you at the club, say 10 o'clock."
Great. I'll send it back. I will send him back. I will send him back audio too. It says nothing but "yay."
Nice.
Very nice. So is there anything you collectively or individually would like to get done before drinks tonight at 10?
No.
Cool.
Not individually.
We fast forward. I'll show up at the club, 10 o'clock. Make your way in, up to the usual booth. Mortimer is already there, assuming you come anywhere around 10. If you come super early, he's not.
No, I don't think we need to go early.
Mm-mm.
Fortunately, it's a crowded place, so we should be safe.
You do see a single tiny sphere kind of circling slowly over his head. It seems to have gotten easier to notice now that you're kind of always aware of it and looking for it. So when he sees you, he gets a big smile on his face and gets out of the booth. "My friends, you made it.
Hey there.
Welcome. I've already ordered drinks. Help yourselves."
Oh, you're too kind.
And there are 4 glasses on the corners of the table, and in the center of the table is a little mound of ice, like crushed ice, like snow cone ice.
Oh.
And there are these lines of very tiny humanoids, ant-sized humans, who are taking ice from this pile and bringing it off to the glasses. So it's a whole big project. It's like construction work going on.
Are they? What color are they?
They're little red people.
That's a nice trick.
Mortimer says, "Oh, these are lovely. They're very expensive, but they are handmade with love. You can't beat that."
So what do they do after they finish moving all the ice?
Oh, I'm not sure.
It's just gonna like reach down with like the giant finger and just kind of like poke it one very gently.
So he's bent over with this giant thing of ice, and you stick a finger on him, and he stops and looks up and lets out this little like doughboy giggle, and then goes back to trudging his ice towards the glass.
They just can't smile, but you get the sense that they could, that they would be smiling.
How long does this take?
Usually about a half an hour, but I've been here for a while, so the drinks should almost be done.
what did the drinks look like otherwise?
Well, it's just an empty glass. They sort of put them together themselves from all the ingredients in the main bowl. And when you look
That's so
now
sweet.
closer near the pile, there are all these little artisan critters who are making the flavors and mixing the fruits and passing off things to the workers who are then trudging them out to the glasses.
That's awesome. I'd love to know the name of the designer.
I'm sure the bartender would know. You get the feeling Mortimer's
I'll
not
ask
really
him on the way up.
into that sort of thing. But as a few minutes go by, as Mortimer's chatting with you, and eventually your drinks will in fact be ready to consume. So he says, "So what can I do for you? Is this a social call, or is there more that I can do? We've all been very impressed with your progress."
Aegis is just gonna kind of look towards Jam.
It could be a social call.
Why, I do think you will enjoy these drinks.
At the moment, we're just hanging out. You said in another week. That was when you were going to be looking for something.
I think so, possibly sooner, but all plans are coming to fruition. Very exciting to see.
So when the drinks are ready, I'll take one and toast the little sphere. Oh, dude, look at this. Does the sphere come nearer?
It does once Mortimer also looks at the sphere and gives a almost imperceptible nod. So it comes out of the sky and sort of starts orbiting the drink that you're holding.
That is some sweet tech.
A gift from a friend. Yes, I find them very useful.
Do they have to go with you, or can you just send them places?
Oh, you can send them wherever you like, on errands. They deliver messages. They keep an eye on things for me. Extremely handy.
I like that.
I'm afraid I don't think they're for sale.
I will turn to my friends here. Have you guys ever seen anything like that anywhere else?
No.
Because I've seen a lot of stuff, and this is new to me.
It is quite impressive.
Custom code. You're not going to find that on a shelf somewhere. Speaking of out of character, where is the virtual version of the camera that you picked up last game?
I think we took it back to the workshop.
The virtual version of the what? Sorry.
The camera that the miniature guy gave you.
Yeah, I think it's it's probably in Aegis's workshop.
Okay, so it's safe.
Imagine. Yeah.
Well, it's as safe as Aegis's workshop. Yeah.
Safe as the Nexus. I'll take the glass and put it up, and even though I have a full face mask, right, I put it up, and then it's like almost imperceptibly, it's like nanofibers part, so I can drink from it. I don't have to like pull a mask up or something.
Nice.
Drink that. What does it taste like?
It's very good. It's fruity. It's almost like a Willy Wonka drink. First, it tastes very sweet, like cherry maybe. Then it tastes like watermelon. Then orange. You get this whole. It's just changing as it's rolling around in your mouth.
The snozzleberries taste like snozzleberries.
That is good.
Aegis doesn't drink anything.
No? Oh.
Well, the thing is there's not like a face inside the armor. If they were going to lift it out, they're just an empty suit of armor. So there's not lips or anything.
Do you just hold it?
Yeah.
Hold it.
But it's like probably super tiny in my very large hand, so it's like awkward. It's like the little like cap.
So not on the, not that it makes that much difference, but we were sitting around talking about how the things that you've hired us to do aren't like anything that we've ever done before. It's really interesting. I mean, we're not normally professional rescuers.
Rescuers, I see. Is
First
that
we rescued our guy, I guess. And then we rescued some information for you, and then we rescued your guy.
see, you're doing good in the world.
So this is new. This is new for us. This is it's a big shift, and we're grateful for the work. But we're kind of looking at each other, wondering, like, what made you pick us? What made you pick us? We've never done rescue work before.
No, you certainly have not. However, your reputation most definitely precedes you.
For what?
Technically, rescuing information is stealing.
Well, that depends on who's holding the information from whom.
I'm not sure that's true, Mortimer says. But we were looking for a talented crew of morally flexible individuals, and all arrows pointed to you.
That is an accurate description of us.
It is. I prefer not to have arrows pointed at me.
You do have access to some very unique tech and abilities yourselves, and it seemed to us that we could put those gifts to work.
Well, we're liking it so far.
Excellent.
We're liking it so far. It's fun, and and of course, the fact that this seems to be our base office. This is not a bad place to work.
Oh, agreed, 100%. And the drinks here are amazing.
They are.
While you say that, like, Aegis is trying to gently and like very subtly set down the drink that they aren't drinking, and sort of fumbles it because it's really hard to put down such a small glass on the table, so it ends up doing a clink very loudly.
So the glass is kind of teetering as you put it down, and all these little worker folks come over and they all sort of put up their hands and steady the glass so that it stops.
Oh. Oh, they're nanobots.
They're nanobots.
They're visible nanobots. That's so cute.
I wonder if they can repair armor.
Well, if it were made of ice, I'm sure they could.
Does not seem functional or comfortable.
I am.
Cool.
I hope you will not be too disappointed should future missions not necessarily be up to the same high standards as your previous ones.
You mean payment?
No, not at all. The payment will be the same.
Oh.
In fact, if anything, it might increase.
Well, that is fine then.
Just you seem very enthused about the rescuing aspect of the work. Unfortunately, it's not always roses. Sometimes.
Well, it's novel. Anything new is always fun.
Indeed.
It was only roses because we were successful.
That's very true.
And we got paid.
And well. I hope it was up to your specifications.
Promptly. Prompt payment is always good.
So as you're talking, one of the vid feeds nearby lights up, and it's the ad for Gregory Good that has been running nonstop. And Mortimer kind of takes note of it. So there's our boy.
Yes, it seems that you have increased his visibility.
He seems to be a good man with a good heart, and we're hoping he can bring some change to the city, bring some hope to the people. But of course, he can't do that if no one sees him. What's that?
Hope is good. What kind of change are you looking to bring?
Certain factions feel that this city has stagnated under the watch of Mayor Alistair Thorne. He's known to be corrupt. He's known to be just out for himself. He's not helping the city in any way, shape, or form. Just feels like year after year, the actual city gets worse and worse, and more people retreat into the zone and spend all their time here, spend all their lives here. We're not sure that's such a good thing, so we're hoping to improve the city so that people will be free to pursue a more natural way of life.
So you disapprove of our lifestyle?
Oh no, not at all. But we would like to see you come to the zone because you want to, not because your life is such a shit show that it gives the only relief. We want you to come to the zone because you want to, not because you need to. And we
That
think
seems like it will be a huge, huge task.
That's fair enough. He is an asshole.
Most people seem to think so. But he's.
No, I'm not sure people are all coming to the zone. I mean, people, coming to the zone isn't free. I think the people at the very bottom aren't probably not even here.
That's true. There is a great disparity in terms of who can access the zone and who can't. And Gregory and I have actually had some conversations about how we can start some programs to lower the barrier of entry to get more of the poverty-stricken, really the people who need it the most, some access to the finer entertainments and relaxations of the zone.
He makes a good face.
He does indeed.
I mean, he's youngish. He's kind of cute, kind of bland.
Non-threatening is the term.
Not going to bother anybody.
Non-threatening, and with a tragic backstory that can pull at the heartstrings, get the voters out to the.
Oh yeah, good-looking guys with a tragic backstory aren't that easy to find.
So
it does seem, Mortimer, that you have influence in the real world as well. Then
I have some. Money goes a long way. Once you start earning the cash and the resources here in the zone, that translates pretty easily out into the real world.
Hmm.
But I like it in here. I like it in the zone. I don't want to see it as a prison. I want it to be a playground. I want it to be a fun place.
It is a playground.
It can be. It has some seedier parts to it. That's what we're trying to address. I mean, look at Gregory Good's home district here in the zone. Yes, his home district in the real world is a bit shabby and on the low scale. So why does that mean his virtual zone has to be?
Yeah, it's true. If the zone is everybody's land of imagination, you'd figure it would all be good stuff. I mean, whose idea? There shouldn't be virtual slums.
Agreed. And as with most things, it all comes down to the money. The poorer zones in the world don't have the resources to spend on really nice cutting edge technology zones for themselves virtually, so they get trapped in this cycle where they're not really able to put their best foot forward. Another thing Gregory is hoping to address.
Oh, I don't know if it's all money. I think some of it is just people not learning how to program.
Well, there is that. Although
people, they're making themselves up stuff. Some of these people, they're making up their avatars couldn't program a straight line if you showed them how.
That is very true. Knowledge is a good thing, particularly knowledge about coding.
So it's not all going to be. Rescuing people and data heisting.
Probably not. Although your strengths seem to be in infiltration and extraction. So
Well, that's where the fun is.
we've been trying to sort of play to your strengths.
Cool.
So if you're looking to branch out, we can. There's never enough hands for all the work that needs to.
Aegis isn't sure if they believe anything he's saying, but they don't also kind of just don't care a little. They kind of care, but not like a lot.
Yeah.
Like
We don't expect him to be all that straightforward.
Yeah, I feel like Mortimer's woven a good enough tale where it's like, all right, sure,
seems
Why
legit.
not?
ish,
Yeah.
sure.
I'm sure that someone's pockets are being lined, but it doesn't seem like, it's not like mass murder or something. So, okay, politics is already sleazy. If you want to keep it sleazy, cool. Pay me.
Yeah.
Yes, our pockets are being lined. That's an important set of pockets being lined.
Absolutely.
Well,
Good
if their main objective is to change the current mayoralty of our area, I can see their point.
Yeah, we think Thorne has he's far outlived any help he was to the city. I mean, how many elections has he gone through completely either unopposed or just with these opponents that can't put up a fight because he's amassed so much wealth, so much power.
So how does getting someone like Gregory Good on the council help remove the mayor?
Well, it's funny you should ask that. We're setting our sights a little higher than the councilman seat. Gregory hasn't really quite agreed, but I think that's more just an issue of lack of confidence than any ideological problems. I'm pretty sure he'll come around.
So you would see him running for a higher office?
Indeed, yes.
Don't you already have a candidate running at the higher levels?
Not for the mayor.
Hmm.
We do for some of the cabinet seats. And, we're trying to make grassroots change at the lower levels in the councilman seats, but we think it's time. I think it's time to make a big step, make a big move. And you've helped us to do that. We're happy to pay you for your assistance.
Good.
Well, then perhaps we should drink to your candidate.
Indeed.
And I will exchange glasses with Aegis.
Aegis has not drunk any of Aegis's drink.
Exactly.
Refill. So Mortar begins to drink a bit more and talk about politics a bit less. So he's more going into just a kind of jovial, social kind of thing. He doesn't really seem like he wants to keep talking shop.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. We'll talk about music.
Okay, very good.
We don't have to do it now, but
So he's easy enough to distract. He seems to have opinions on a great variety of things, and he continues to buy the drinks, the very, very expensive drinks, all through the night.
Excellent. I'm starting to formulate a plan for myself, and so I probably drink a little more than I should. Plus, I'm going to guess these pack a wallop far beyond their fruity flavor.
They do, yes. Yes, there's something going on in these drinks that is not obvious to the eye. Some sort of magic going on there. It's the little people. It's all about the little.
All about the little people.
that's good. So we have a good time for the rest of the night.
Indeed, yes. Eventually, well into the morning hours, assuming we'll assume it's a weekend, so there's no jobs to get to or what have you. He eventually gets the little sphere sort of comes down from above him and hovers next to his ear. And he doesn't look at it or acknowledge it in any way. It's just, to him, it's just a part of him because he's been using these things for so long. But he says, well, my friends, it seems our time has come to an end. I find myself in being summoned elsewhere. As I said earlier, there's just never enough hands for all the work to go around. But do not worry, we will definitely be in touch. You're amongst our most talented operatives right now, and we look forward to really making some changes around here with your help. So he buys one last round and takes his to go, and starts sort of heading off into the crowd.
Good. That was great.
So Mortimer has left. He paid for all the drinks, and all is well.
Excellent.
And we're still in the club. And it's a weekend.
I bet Aegis likes to dance. It's really awkward and crazy, and people hate it when they get on the dance floor. But it's probably dangerous for them, other people. But
so do you continue to enjoy the club for an hour or two, or heading off?
Yeah, an hour, and then that's enough.
I'm gonna when the dancing starts, and if at some point I'm gonna assume that I can maybe ghost. Like, I'm not gonna really tell them I'm leaving. I'm just gonna leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask the bartender for a source on those little red drink laborers. So in case I want them for a party or something, I can.
He says the bartender, who knows you well, normally they wouldn't give out that kind of information to customers because then that kind of cuts into their profits. But he likes you, your friends or acquaintances. He says that the coder's name is Astra. That's his moniker, and you've actually heard the name before because he, she, it has occasionally released these similar things. Sometimes it's a drink, sometimes it's a piece of clothing, it's a vehicle, whatever. They seem to be very versatile, but they have a huge following in terms of people knowing who they are. So you have successfully had an Astra drink.
Is it Astrid or Astro?
Astra with an A.
Oh, Astra with an A. Astra.
Per Astra. Yeah.
Nothing I'm hearing. Perfect.
So Hexa eventually sort of makes his exit. The two of you kind of lose him in the crowd, but things happen. Plus, I'm sure he's probably done that before.
So yeah, sometimes then I'm just not there anymore. It's like, oh, okay, ninja dude, whatevs.
So do you you party off into the night and eventually either log out or head back to the Nexus or what have you. So true to his word, you do not hear from Mortimer for another 4 or 5 days. Is there any leads you'd like to follow? Anything else you'd like to do before that happens?
Yeah,
you guys go ahead. I'm messaging you. Unless I'll just say it out loud. This is easier.
Yeah.
You guys won't metagame. Doesn't matter. So here's what I'm gonna do during that time we have. Mook is Hex is gonna contact Mortimer and let him know that he he would like to seek his assistance in a real world matter, since he appears to have some connections and pull there.
Okay.
And I figure it may take the week or longer to kind of pull out of him, but basically what I'm trying to do is have Mortimer be my marker / influence disad, because
Oh,
I want to use him to be able to help me with arrange getting my cybernetics.
Got it.
So
Nice.
that was just undefined, but it seems like, oh, well, maybe that could be who it is.
Perfect.
So he's going to have a little more, or a lot more. It's a 10-point disad pull over me, because I'm hoping that he'll be the one who can then help me get my legs.
Cool. That works out nicely.
yeah.
So the following day, Mortimer gets back to you and says, I find your offer intriguing. We should decide on a time to meet and hash out some details.
I'm available whenever you need me.
So just to be clear, you want to meet in the real world, is that correct?
Oh, no, we should meet in cyberspace.
Oh, I see. Okay.
We should meet in the Darknet. No,
Gotcha,
I can.
gotcha.
It's much easier to talk with him there about it. I don't need to meet him in the real world to describe what needs to happen.
Gotcha. So so in that case, he says, well, I'm actually free now. I can meet you wherever you like in the zone.
I'll meet him at Freisengard. I'll meet him at the mall.
Yes.
Of course. So nice. So he shows up at the food cart at the Freisengard, and of course his usual jubilant self. Hex, my friend, what can I do for you?
I was intrigued when you mentioned at the club that you had connections and some influence in the real world. There is a matter that I will require assistance with, that I would seek to come to an arrangement with you about.
Oh, I would be happy to help. What is it that we can do for you?
Let us just say that I have a far greater deal of mobility in the Darknet than I do in the real world. And some of the things that you were speaking of in terms of those who are less well off, needing a leg up, if you will, seem to strike a chord with me. And there are certain technological enhancements or replacements that would greatly help me, but I do not have access to those types of things or people.
Oh, I see.
In the
Well,
real world.
that is interesting. I feel like we could absolutely come to some mutually beneficial deal there.
Obviously, I will continue working with the team.
Of course.
But this is my area of interest.
Of course. Let me discuss it with those that I work with. But I don't foresee any problems. The question, of course, is what would, in a mutually beneficial deal, what would our benefit be?
I will say that though there may have appeared to have been some excitement over the concept of rescuing people and being helpful, that is not what I have typically done myself. It's more along the opposite end of that spectrum. So just always please know that I am not squeamish.
Good to know. Sometimes an unrescuer is very much needed. Perhaps we could reduce the fees that we're paying you as well for your work with the group.
Certainly, if you wish to apply my portion of the fee towards this, that would be fine.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, we will probably need more details at some point, but I will pursue this up the chain, and we'll see what arrangement we can come to.
And I'll give him like the field of inquiry would be cybernetics.
Fair enough. So he, without coming out and saying it, he definitely gets the impression that you're looking for some kind of cybernetic enhancement or upgrade. Very nice. So a few days, even beyond that, pass. Still nothing from Mortimer. And then finally, he sends you a little message. It's late in the evening, maybe 8 or 9, and basically saying, I have work for you. If you would like to meet at what has become our usual spot.
Sure, I log into the Nexus since that's where I feel like that's where like at least I always start. I never go anywhere else directly because it's just safer.
Yeah.
What time of day is it?
About 9 p.m.
I'll do the
And
same.
what time? On a weeknight or weekday?
Let's see. We'll say it was Saturday night when you last saw him. So this is the following Friday night at 9 p.m.
I'm already at the club.
Okay.
Nice.
This is now your spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was my spot beforehand. This is great.
Oh, that's right. You had been there before. You knew exactly what it was, right?
To work.
Very convenient. So he sets up a meet. Jam, you're already there, and the two of you log in, and I assume start heading there.
Mm-hmm.
Just about a minute or two before the two of them arrive, Jam, you see Mortimer enter the club. He doesn't see you in the crowd, and just starts slowly making his way up the center shaft to the floor where your usual booth is.
Is anyone following him?
Give me a perception roll.
I'm at 13.
Okay. Should be good. Pretty good shot.
I'm at 12. I make it by 1.
A few people come in after him, but they don't seem to be paying attention to him specifically. And you're just about to stop, trying to analyze who's coming in and out when someone catches your eye. They enter the club. Their avatar is this silver wolf or dog, like a big canine of some kind, with razor spines down its back.
Bipedal or quadrupedal?
Quadrupedal. And it seems to be it doesn't seem like it's following Mortimer, but it's definitely looking for something or someone, because it's sniffing the floor, sniffing the air, it's looking all around. Clearly is not there for entertainment. It seems to be a man on a mission. And then the two of you come in a few people behind that. So basically the situation is, Jam, you're way up on top. Right. You're looking down. You see Mortimer. Mortimer is in the shaft coming up. And Hex and Aegis, you have come in to the club. In front of you, you see this canine that I'm describing to Jam. So it's kind of between the two groups of you.
And I see these two start to come in too.
Yes.
So I'm gonna calm to them because I can calm to them. I'm gonna message them saying, "Hey, I'm up top already. Keep an eye out. There's some scary looking silver wolf nasty thing maybe ahead of you if you see it. It's looking for something and it doesn't look pleasant."
Yes, I see it. I'm like way above everybody, so it's
and I'm going to make my way to where the elevator shaft comes out.
Okay.
And when Mortimer comes out, I keep an eye out for Mortimer. And when he comes out, I'm going to genteelly grab him by the elbow and pull him aside.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I'm not very threatening. I'm more pleasant than threatening. But I'm going to grab him by the elbow and pull him aside and say, you might know when to stand in front of that elevator shaft too long. I just have a feeling.
Okay. So the elevator door is open. He comes out. You grab him. You say that. He's while that's happening, down on the floor, the dog is looking to and fro, back and forth, and then it kind of turns around and looks behind it, and it sees the two of you. And his eyes briefly change. They're kind of this red hazy color. They turn into like binary code, kind of scrolling down his eyes, and then it leaps into the air and is attacking you just out of nowhere.
Excellent.
Sure. So his basic speed is 6. I think you might actually both be faster than him. Let's see.
Yep, I'm 7.75.
7.5. What is wrong with you?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Here.
And let's see. Aegis basic speed is also 7. Yeah, so you are both quicker than this thing. So it leaps into the air and is looks like it's heading towards Hex. But you're both standing next to each other.
Yeah.
But in the air, you get to act before it does.
Nice.
And Hex, you're actually faster than anybody.
Yeah, so you should probably go first.
Yeah, that sounds like shuriken time.
Anytime, shuriken time.
Anytime, shuriken time. 16. So I think I have to throw a shuriken at it.
Very
see
nice.
what happens. And aiming for the eyes. What is that? -8?
-9.
-9. So that would be a 7 or less. That's interesting. That sounds like a terrible number. I'll start with a regular throw just to see what that does to it.
Okay.
So I've got a 16, I think. Sure. Yep.
Nice. So I already rolled, and he did not make it.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, damn! I rolled a 7. I should have gone for it.
Oh, figures.
I got it. But anyway, just a regular hit. And only by 9, so no critical hit either.
But very
so that's very close. So 1d, and then it's parens 2. So that's
cool. So it's the parentheses is half is an armor divisor.
Okay, great.
So the armor on this thing is 10, but because it has a parentheses 2, it's only 5.
Okay, and it's cutting damage, and I did 1.
So you do have luck if you want to blow that now.
No.
Yeah. just wanted to remind everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's good. Yeah.
So you fling this shuriken that just appears magically in your hand, and fling it at him. It definitely hits, but it sort of just pings off of his armor. Because he's all metal anyway. And he's just about to land. Aegis, it's your turn.
Awesome. I'm gonna like bash him with my flail. Play a little bit of wolf ball. Be fantastic. And I have 14 in my flail, so I just roll under that.
Yes.
Okay.
I already rolled his dodge and he did not. So basically, you just got to hit him.
Oh, I got exactly 14.
Nice. That'll do.
I was like, oh god, those are larger numbers than I wanted, but it'll work.
Looks like 3d plus 3 crushing damage. That is
Damn.
a massive flail, right?
Now they're low. God damn it. So now it's 8.
So it does
Is
not.
that with the +3?
No, not with that. Not that's
Oh,
without
you
the
rolled
+3.
an
Sorry.
8.
Yeah, I rolled an 8.
Okay. Cool. So a
So
point
plus.
actually gets through his armor.
Okay.
So you dent in. You catch him just before he lands on top of Hex, and you dent in one of his shoulders. It kind of is off balance now.
Mm-hmm.
But it lands on you, Hex, and it's trying to bite you.
And I'll dodge.
Okay. He rolled a 12, so he will hit you unless you
Okay.
dodge.
Yeah, my dodge is a 12, and I rolled an 8.
Nice. So
So good. I like look down. I look down. I'm like,
Oh.
1, 6. Oh, okay, that's fine still. Okay, good.
It's still good.
Brilliant. All good.
So it soars through the air, takes a massive blow to the shoulder, absorbs a lot of it, tries to bite you on its way down, and you just sort of stand to the side like, no. So you are uninjured. It is slightly injured, and then it is back to the two of you. And we'll pick up with Jam and Mortimer as well. But for now, it's back to Hex.
Is there room around us? Is it extremely crowded where we are?
It's extremely crowded. The people in your immediate vicinity have started scrambling to get out of the way because they don't want to get hit with a flying razor dog. But
Right.
the club as a whole has no idea really that any of this is going on yet.
Do I have katana room, or do I need to be using knives?
As long as you don't crit fail, you should be okay with a katana.
Well, then the katana comes out.
Nice.
That's always
and
great.
I will.
As long as you don't crit fail,
Yeah.
that'll go well.
Well, when you're crit failing, then it's just whatever. Then it's just degrees of bad. All right, I will. I'm going to. What's the difference between impaling and cutting damage when we're sorting it?
Impaling is doubled. Cutting is 50%. So like 1.5.
On whatever gets through, yeah.
Right, yeah, whatever gets through.
All right, well, my katana skill, my swords, I guess. Is that what it is?
It is. I thought I actually changed the name of it to katana, but it doesn't.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, it's under broadsword. My bad.
Oh, right, because same thing, right? Yeah. So it's a 16. So if I went for the eye, that would be a 7. Again.
You just want them eyes, don't you?
Well, the code thing was bugging me there. Oh man, that's just so gnarly. I'm just gonna try to cut it. I don't know why I'm wussing out. So 9. So I make it by 7.
Definitely. So he for a third time did not dodge.
Good doggy. So I'm gonna do 2d plus 4 with the half on the armor again.
Cool.
And it's cutting. So there we go. 6 plus 4, so 10.
Nice. So because of your armor divisor, his armor of 10 is only 5. So you rolled 10, so the armor stops 5. 5 gets through, and then it's cutting, so then it gets the bonus. So the 5 becomes a 7. So you do 7 points of damage, which is pretty damn beefy. Where's my pen? And so you slice into this thing, and it lays open at the shoulder. You can see all kinds of exposed code sort of leaking out of it and just drifting into the air. And it falls and tries to get up on 4s, but only 3 legs are working. So it's very unsteady and not in great position. And then it's Aegis's turn.
I'm definitely gonna hit it again with my flail.
Poor doggy.
Is it though? Oh, 8.
Oh man, he still does not dodge. 10 is usually pretty. That's a 50% chance. And I just,
yeah.
So damage for your flail is still 3d plus 3.
So 6 and then plus the 3.
Jimmy's still rolling like crapola on damage, though.
Every time. I'm magic. I'm the new stork. It's fine.
The new stork.
It is known.
So you hit it with enough force that its legs splay out from underneath it. So it's now off its feet. It's technically prone. It's laying down, but it doesn't actually do any damage. However, it does now have to spend a turn sort of regaining its feet before it can do anything. So not a complete loss.
Yeah.
And so it does in fact do that. It struggles to its feet, kind of gets up on the 3 good legs. Still got that weird janky one that's kind of leaking code. And we'll go for Hex again. We'll try to bite Hex on the ankle, and he will, unless you dodge.
I will see if I dodge
or parry.
No, I would dodge, and I roll a 12 exactly.
Oh, you dodged a 12, right?
Yeah, I got on for dodge.
Cool. So he basically gets his mouth around you, and his eyes flicker again to that kind of code thing, but then you yank your foot away from him, and they go back to being that sort of red kind of hue. And then it's back to you. Now, before you act, Aegis and Hex, please make a perception roll. And let me know how much you make it by.
Ooh, I rolled 6.
Oh,
I also rolled a 6.
Did you really? Damn, you
so
guys
I make it by 6.
You are good. So as you're fighting this thing, you do not get the normal sort of combat tunnel vision. You notice that behind him, beyond him, in the door that you came in, are 3 more of these critters, of these hounds. And they're not being surreptitious whatsoever. They're just running full tilt into this, into the entrance to join. But they won't be here for another 2 seconds.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes.
Before Hex goes, can you describe to me my cool new shield thingy and exactly how that works?
Yes. So let me call up your sheet first. Okay. So you have these 2 things called sacrificial block and sacrificial parry, which basically allow you to use your block or your parry for someone who's in a hex adjacent to you. So people who aren't as good at avoiding damage, you can kind of help them out, take the brunt of the blow for them. What the dancing shield allows you to do is extend that protection to people who are not in a hex next to you, that are anywhere within line of sight. You can throw your shield, and the shield will kind of hover around them and autonomously defend them for 5 turns. And basically it gives them 5 extra points of damage resistance. So when they get hit, the shield is interposing and taking some of that damage.
Am I able to throw the shield at things to hurt them?
Let's see.
Sorry, I just broke the thing you just gave me.
It only lasted for like an hour and a half. Yeah, there's really no there's no logical reason that you couldn't use it for offense. No.
Okay.
So you can totally do that if you'd like. Yes.
I would like that very much. But it's Hex's turn, so he can go first.
And we'll say it does, because it's a pretty big shield, so we'll say it does 2d crushing damage. But Hex, so what are you doing?
So I'll say 3 more dogs incoming. And for Jam's sake, I'll say, and they're after me.
Hey, I hear you. I hear you. I'll come down. I'll see if I can bring any help. I'd say to Mortimer, you know that thing? So I mean, I had like 10 seconds to tell him what I saw following him while they were fighting the first one.
Right.
Right. So, you know, that thing that I just told you about, well, there are 3 more of them and they're inbound. So I got to go down and help my teammates not get killed, if at all possible.
Please, yes, do your thing.
If you, they seem to have been close on your heels. If you happen to have any other friends that you could call in, now might be a good time. They appear to be pretty, tanky.
I will attempt to help as best I can.
And there's, if I remember correctly, I don't have to go down in my elevator. I can actually leap over the edge of the railing and just swan dive all the way
Indeed.
down to the ground floor. No problem at all. Avoiding anybody who might be deciding to ascend in a non-traditional fashion.
Yes, hopefully.
Yes. So I will try not to hit anybody on the way down.
Nice.
And I try to fly rather than fall. Go head first, and pull up to a. How much headroom is there down there?
It's completely wide open. It follows the shaft all the way up to the top.
So I will pull up. I'll try and see what's going on the way down, and if I can't get the clear enough idea. Oh, wait a minute! How long does it take me to get down?
Maybe a turn. Like you see what's going on last turn, and decided to help. So you'll actually get there at the end of this turn.
Right. On the way down, I will draw my energy sword from out its sheath. So
Okay.
I'm going down wings and armed.
Nice.
That's quite right.
Like a Valkyrie.
And let's see, I've got some momentum going. And I come in overhead. What's my likelihood of being able to do a strafing attack with my sword up from on one of these things? I want to go, here is it, and I want to scoop it past it and hit as I go.
Are you attacking the one that they're still fighting, or one of the new ones that just came in?
That's a good question. It's the one that they're still fighting, holding still.
They seem to have it. Well, actually, I don't need to guess. I'll let them take your turn first, and we'll see what it looks like by the time they're done. So Hex, finish your turn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to swing at it again.
Okay.
I'm going to, but I guess this would be an aim because I want to try to take out the other. Was it its front leg I hit the first time? Like front right or something?
Yep.
So I want to take the other front leg out.
Well, that's not bad. A limb is only -2.
Okay. So then I'm at a 14 or less. And I rolled a 12.
Exactly what you need. He does not dodge again. He rolls a 14.
Thank God. All right, so I am doing 2d plus 4, cutting, armor piercing. So 8. So 3 is going to get through.
So 3 gets through. He's already damaged. So you do in fact hit the other paw or the other leg. So now both of his front legs are kind of janked up. So they're not supporting him any longer. So he's basically he's still active, but he's having a really hard time moving around. So his threat level has decreased quite a lot. But he's still squirming. He's trying to get over.
Yeah.
Aegis.
And we gave me a blaster, right? On my flail?
Yes, you have like an energy beam, yeah.
That's not as much fun as throwing my shield. I think I'm gonna try. That's predictable. So I think I'm gonna just pull my arm back and just badass frisbee throw.
Nice.
Throw the shield at not the dog that's already there, but the incoming dogs.
Okay.
Just to try and do some damage before they get into melee range.
Cool.
Oh, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Very nice. Hey, we finally get a dodger. So the lead dog is coming in, and you hum your shield across that little entryway way, and he kind of jumps up and over it. But it might hit the one behind him.
Okay.
So why don't you roll again to hit at
Okay.
-4?
8.
Yep, that should still hit, and that one does not dodge, so you'll hit number 2.
Cool.
So 2d crushing for damage.
Okay. 2D. 6.
All right, so your shield smashes into the second one. It doesn't seem to injure him in terms of like breaking components, but it stops him from any forward progress.
Okay.
He kind of goes back on his back, and it'll take him a turn to get back to his feet.
Okay.
So Jam, that's what the situation looks like now. There's one sort of in front of Hex where both of his legs are messed up, and there's one that just jumped over Aegis' shield, and then there's a third one who's coming forward, plus the one that she knocked over.
Yeah, I don't want to accidentally mess up my friends. If I've got a clear at, shot at the one that's coming forward, now I've had a turn to go, so I have had time to draw my sword, to draw my flaming energy sword, and activate my sound system.
Yes.
Very nice.
It's in my epaulets.
Yeah.
Well, anyway. And so I am drawing. Is it too loud? I can't actually tell. Probably too loud. There we go.
I didn't even notice it was on until you mentioned it.
Oh, good. Then I am drawing, and I'm going to go at the foremost advancing one that is not being that's not currently engaged with one of them.
Okay.
We'll call it number 3.
Number 3. So I know, how did GMs do this without a map? We'll give him a chance to be surprised because they're not expecting death from above. And he does not make his perception, so he does not get a defense on this whatsoever. So basically just got to hit him.
So I guess I use energy sword swing.
Yes.
And that's
So
a 14.
You're looking at a 14, yeah.
So, and I make it by 2. So I make 12.
Very nice. So roll 2d plus 3 for damage.
All right. That is 7 plus 3 is 10.
Very nice. So you similar to Hex, you have an armor divisor on your sword. So his armor of 10 becomes 5. You rolled 7, so 2 gets through, and because it's cutting damage, you do 3. So that's about a third of his hit points. So you come swooping down out of the sky and rake down across his back with your sword, and it severs all of the like bladed spines that he has there, and this line of code is just sort of evaporating up into the air now, and he does not like that very much.
And I go back up around for next pass.
Okay. So he's going to try and nip at you as you leave, but he's going to be a penalty. And yeah, he doesn't. So he kind of leaps up and tries to bite your foot, but you're already away. The one that Aegis knocks down gets back to his feet. So on the following turn, he'll be back alive. The one that jumped over Aegis' shield is going to try and bite Hex. And he will, unless you dodge.
Yes, handily by 5.
Very nice. So again, you agilely get out of the way, and the one with the 2 paws, as long as you don't get close enough for him to bite you without moving, he shouldn't really be in it.
Right. Oh yeah, screw that guy. I'm nowhere near that guy.
Yeah, he can't move himself. So, so then it's back to you guys. Back to you, Hex.
So there's another one right there, right?
Yeah, he just tried to bite you.
Well, then he will. I am going to try for the eye. Screw it. Like there's too many now. I got to take a risk.
Go big or go home.
That's right. Oh God, no, 15. Not by any chance.
So you attempt to impale it through the eye, but he sees that coming and kind of rolls to the side, so you get nothing but air.
Yeah.
Aegis.
Yeah, the one that's up close. I'm gonna hit it with my flail.
Alrighty.
And my shield came back to me, right?
Yes,
Okay.
it did.
I just want to make sure I didn't have to like summon it as like a second action. All right, this is going better. So 6 total.
Very nice.
As long as I cannot fail.
So
This dice is
you
weird.
roll, I guess,
It's got a
10.
very strange second dot.
Oh, weird.
Right?
It's like a mutation.
Yeah. It still counts as 2.
2.5.
No.
He did not dodge, so 2 damage for that one.
All right. Oops. Ah, double 6s.
Oh, very nice. Where are you? Let's see.
+3, I think.
Damn. 15 points of damage. Yeah, that's pretty beefy. So he lunges up and you just smash him down on the crown of the head with your flail. And his legs splay out as well. His eyes just kind of go white. They're not red. They're not scrolling text. They just go blank white.
Nice.
And it falls to the ground and just kind of is not moving. So
I rolled well finally. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yes. I had to go and get a power cord. My computer was like, "You have 10%." Like, no. Good job, Aegis.
Yeah.
So we got one who's mostly alive but doesn't have any front legs, and one that seems to be unconscious. So that just leaves the one that Jam just ripped open the back of his spine, and one who is undamaged. So Jam is your turn.
Let's see. What am I clearest in range of? It's the one. What's the one that I ripped open doing?
He is creeping slowly towards Hex. He's not really lunging or running. He's slowly making his way.
I'm going to take a pass at the other one.
Okay.
Same.
You got to put your music. You got to put your music next to the mic. We can't hear it, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
See if I can lay this across. Tell me if you can hear. There we go.
Nice.
All right. So, I roll an 8 against 14.
All right. He will attempt to dodge. He finally dodges. He rolls a 9. So you come out of the sky and try to slice open the second one, but he saw what you did to the other one. So he's like, I got none. I'm having none of that. So he leaps to the side, and unfortunately, you miss him. Again, as you pass overhead, he will attempt to hit you at a penalty. Ooh, almost. He rolled a 7, but he needed a 6. So he nips at your heel as you fly past, but he does not hit you. The other 2 are mostly out, and the wounded one is going to try and bite Hex again. He does barely with a 12.
I dodged with a 10.
All right. Why did? Oh, you rolled a 10.
I rolled a 10. Sorry, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Nice. Wow, Hex is hard to hit.
Yeah. Well, 12 or less is pretty good, right? I mean,
pretty good.
As long as I'm rolling okay, and I'm rolling pretty good tonight. So.
Pretty good. So as this combat has erupted into the crowd, the circle of people attempting to get the hell away from you has expanded. It's not exactly a panic. Weird things happen in the zone all the time, including violence. So people are kind of used to it. But they don't want to get really drawn into it either. So they're giving you a wide berth. And now it is Hex's turn.
So there's the uninjured one, right?
Yes.
And is that the one who just attacked me, or is it the one who's like mostly screwed up that tried to get to me? Because I'm just staying away from that.
Well, the screwed up one on the floor, yeah, he's pretty much. I'm not even considering him.
Right. Okay.
The one with the spinal injury also tried to bite you, but
all right. Well, I'll go for the
very slow.
I'll go for the spinal injury guy with a
Okay.
normal swing. So I'm gonna have to try to do anything super finessey here.
All right. He does not dodge.
Great. I rolled an 11, so I hit.
Cool. So right to damage. Yeah.
That will be 4 plus. So an 8. So 3 get through because I do the armor piercing.
Cool. And he was already wounded. So you hit him in the flank. So now like his back is exposed, his flank has got a piece missing. He just kind of collapses to the ground, and this swirling of code is just leaking out of him. And he eventually, his eyes just turn white and he shuts off. Doesn't seem like he's doing anything anymore. Aegis, that leaves just a single uninjured dog.
Bash it.
Bash it.
Ooh, I rolled a 9. Oh no, yeah, 9.
No dodge, so you're all good.
And 7 plus 3.
So you do exactly the amount that of his armor. So he doesn't take any damage, but it does kind of rattle him.
Okay.
From the impact. But he is no longer fixated on Hex. He seems like he has now turned his attention to you.
Right.
Which in the grand scheme of things is actually better.
Yes.
You're beefy.
Absolutely better. So much better. Like the best.
And Jam, that leaves you.
I want to see if I can fly by again. Can I get him laterally?
Sure. Like just fly into the side of him. Yeah.
I don't want to. No, I don't want to fly into the side. I want to do the same thing, the same maneuver. It's hard to describe. If I'm flying back, if I'm flying by, I've got my sword. I've got it behind me. I'm flying that way. My sword is pointed that way.
Okay.
And I want to come across the spine.
So you're basically trying to cut him in half.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay. Cool. Yes, you can absolutely try that.
All right. I will make my attempt. I roll exactly 14.
He does not dodge, so that will hit.
All right. So that's 2d3 plus 2 plus 2d plus 3, right?
2d plus 3.
I roll a 12.
Nice.
Plus 3,
So, you rolled a 12.
yes,
so that's 15 minus the 5 for his armor leaves 10. So you did basically cut him in half.
Damn!
So you loop up into the air. You just come flying by. There's a flash of sword, and then there's a front dog and a back dog, and they just kind of fall over.
Fantastic.
A large collection of code now swirling all over the place, and the patrons sort of slowly start creeping back into that space as if nothing even happened.
I look at Jam goes by. I look at Jam's sword. I look at my sword. I look at Jam's sword again. I'm like, when my sword go away, I'm like,
Are all the dogs down?
All the dogs are down.
There's the other one. I have two questions. So one that has no legs is still active. It just can't really get to anybody.
Correct.
And then did the other ones, when the light went out, did they then de-res, or are they still there?
They're starting to de-res, but it's not. It's kind of strange because normally when an avatar is knocked unconscious or dead, there's that second delay, and then they pop out. But It's been 2 or 3 seconds since some of these dogs have been put down, and they're slowly like getting transparent, but it's not that kind of poof that you're used to seeing.
I would like to try to lasso the wounded dog.
Okay, nice.
Is there such a thing as virtual DNA?
Sort of, kind of. How do you mean exactly?
If I wanted to know where they were from, I would grab a hank of hair.
Gotcha. if you can make the right rolls at huge penalties and that sort of thing, blah, blah,
Go
blah,
ahead.
then yes, you can track down pieces of an avatar and get more information about the owner. Or at least, you know, the in virtual stuff.
So my goal, I'll just give you what my goal here is, because this will require me to communicate with the team as well, is I would like to lasso the dog so it then can't leave, right? It can't leave the zone. And then I basically want to be able to get it back to Aegis's lab so we can try to figure out where it came from. That was exactly the same thing I was thinking that Elsa was thinking.
Okay.
Right? Back where we can like take our time, hack it, keep it in a cage or whatever the hell we need to do, take samples, like whatever, you know, like code samples, basically try to pull this thing apart because this is unusual.
Very much so, yeah. Okay, well, let's start with the lasso roll. Let's see if you can actually lasso
Do
this.
it.
I rolled
awesome.
I rolled a 7.
Well, there you go. He's at huge penalties because he's a sufferer. Yeah, he doesn't dodge. So yeah, you easily get the lasso around a couple of his paws, I guess, or because you're not trying to restrain him physically. You just
I just
the
need
lasso
to
on him.
Right, because he can't go anywhere.
Right. Okay.
And if there's a way that we figure if we've got it, I mean, I figure what I'm trying to do is like get it around him because basically it's binding, right? That's what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm binding to Darknet, and then probably either Aegis or Jam can finish making it so he can't go anywhere without killing it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know if crushing or cutting is better for that, but one of those two, whoever would like to, and I'll just say like, whoever would like to ensure that this creature cannot actually move unless we move it somewhere, that would be good. And I'm telling the plan, right? Like, I think we should take this back to the Nexus in Aegis's workshop where it can be examined. Because this does not act like an avatar. This is something else.
Cool. So you get the lasso on a paw. You notice that the 3 other dogs have finally shimmered out to a point where they just you can't see them anymore. They're gone.
Right.
But this one is still completely opaque, fully solid, and doesn't seem to be going anywhere. So it's growling, it's snapping, it's doing all these things, but because of its lack of mobility, it can't really do much.
Right. And is there? We got to remember, are there subdue rules for GURPS? Is there like I want to hit a thing, like pull punch, whatever it is? Isn't there something where you can like, I don't want to kill it, I just want to knock it unconscious?
There are, yeah. There's you can either do a full grapple and like work out the whole thing, or you can choose to do fatigue damage instead of hit point damage. So you're just trying to wear it out and knock it unconscious, and you're not trying to kill it. You might still accidentally kill it, but at least you're trying not to.
Maybe Aegis should do that.
I am able to.
I say thinking A, Aegis has a bludgeoning weapon, and B, Aegis doesn't seem to hit for a lot of damage. Whereas Jam certainly has shown the ability to bisect a creature. So yeah.
It's on the soundtrack.
Would it not be best to have it disabled so that it cannot relay the coordinates of the Nexus?
Yes. Unconscious would be good.
Right, but if it is able to regain consciousness once it is in the Nexus, perhaps we should take the one that is broken?
Well, there's only one left. There's only the one that... That's what we want. Like, the 3 disappeared. This is the one that's the legs are fucked up.
I've got the last... I'm sorry, the one she cut in half is gone too?
Yeah,
yes.
The only one's left
sorry.
was the...
I thought the ones that were... Okay, sorry, I misunderstood that part.
So, yeah.
Am I not supposed to do this? I can stop.
I don't know. I just remembered we were on our way into a meeting.
Yes. But it doesn't take us long to get back to the Nexus and get back here.
Yeah, I rolled an 8.
Very nice. So he, between being immobilized on his front legs and having a lasso on him, it's not going to take long for you to. So basically, what I'm saying, I'm not going to roll it.
Okay.
So as long as you hit, which you
Good.
did, you can eventually just keep bludgeoning him
I'm just
until
gonna-
the.
Tap. Wow. He's still.
So you eventually just keep hammering this thing until the lights go out in his eyes and they turn white, and it seems to be disabled.
I'm a monster. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It's a robot dog. It's okay. It doesn't have feelings.
Yeah, the
No,
virtual
it's
ASPCA is going to be all over you.
George R. Martin with his characters.
Yes.
Bop,
Wow.
bop, bop.
Exactly. All right. There's your unconscious dog.
So in the few moments that it takes you to do all this, Mortimer arrives on the ground floor, and he's just very interestedly kind of looking over at everything that's going on. He says, "Perhaps we should postpone our meeting. It seems like your hands are kind of full."
It will not take long for us to dispose of this. We should continue the meeting.
Oh, wonderful. Well, then I'll just have a drink or two or six while you're gone.
So this is as far as we know, is the Nexus well enough hidden where, like, how unfindable is it?
It's pretty unfindable. The only the only way it would be found is either someone specifically looking for it, someone knowing that you have a lair and trying to find it and rolling at massive penalties, or if someone got some kind of tracking device on you or into the Nexus.
Right. So Aegis's concern is real, where it's like if it's in there and it wakes up and it can signal in some way, then something could track it.
It is a possibility, yeah.
I was right. Perhaps we should just take part of it.
How about the tail?
It's probably not as good as all of it. But I see the danger, and we cannot risk exposing the Nexus.
If you being all three of you, if someone were to say make a computer hacking roll at -4, you could at least attempt to isolate the communications, the external communications.
I'll try that.
And
good.
yank it out of there.
I'll try that.
Nice.
I mean, of course, I have to make an 8 or better, but it's a try.
It is a try. Plus, you get luck depending on how bad you want to do it. Yeah.
Right. So, I will try.
Okie doke.
See if I can isolate the comms. I do not succeed.
Was
I
it
roll
even
a 12.
close?
I do not succeed.
So you're kind of poking around in there, simultaneously physically handling it, but also recoding things and etc. The sophistication of the design is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I can't find it. It might be this purple bit here, or it might be the tail. I don't know.
Perhaps we can find another place to securely keep it that is not at the Nexus.
They have lockers here at the club.
How big are the lockers?
What was the state of Farmville? You said that Discord was not there. Who was there?
Fire and ruins, and nobody was there in Farmville, but in the neighborhood there were some, lame-ass teenagers wandering around on chrome horses that were so cheap. Oh my God. That's about it. There was nobody at Farmville. It's pretty empty. It's like, I mean, you know, the way we left it, I think there's a glitch. You know, I think they've got, I think something's caught in the hang weight loop, because there's just fire in a kind of very predictable pattern shooting up in some places where it was exactly the same when we left it.
We should, oh God, this is horrible. Because now I think it's like, if we take it there, the only way we can make sure that it doesn't res out is if I leave the lasso on it. But then if somebody finds it, then I don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
It is somewhat key to my future plans. But
badass.
I totally see what Aegis is saying. If we take it back to the Nexus and then it wakes up, that's bad.
I just keep bashing it every couple of hours until I have to go to work. I don't say that, but
I guess I guess here's the thing. Can we then instead take like a code sample, a blood sample, a code sample, and then it will be nowhere, I'm sure, near as good as having the entire thing to dig into, but at least it's something to try to trace.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you can roll.
That's not a fit. That's not like a physical component that we might have accidentally grabbed the communications device along with.
Right.
It's
I don't know if it's this purple thing or the tail. Like, well, shit. Now we can't take anything.
The left paw. That'll be fine. Damn it.
That's the one. Yes. Just a straight up computer hacking roll should allow you to grab enough information without opening yourselves up to danger.
12 exactly made it on.
Nice. So you managed to, from this overwhelming just collection of code that is, as I mentioned, pretty impressively executed. You managed to isolate sort of, you know, just a single snippet of code and kind of transfer that to a, you know, like a thumb drive or whatever.
Yeah, it'll look like a vial. Like it'll look like little blood in a vial. Like we actually took a blood sample from.
Of course, very nice. So you accomplished that, no problems. What are you gonna do with the remains?
Then I'll unlasso. We'll unlasso it and I'll coup de grace because now we don't need it anymore.
Okay.
And I don't want it to wake back up here.
So you take the lasso off. As soon as you do, it starts kind of getting more and more transparent, and then you decapitate it, crush its head. Whatever gets your rocks off, you manage to disable this thing, and then it poofs away. So, but you still have your little vial.
Okay. Whew. All right. Let's see what Mortimer wants. This was not good.
This was interesting. I mean, yeah, it's bad, but it was kind of fun.
Yes, I suppose if you can fly and we're not the target, it was very fun.
Great.
So you can still see Mortimer. He's back up on the level where your table is, but he's at the banister, kind of looking over and watching what you're doing with a bemused look on his face.
Is it not strange that we keep having creatures that are shiny and silver tied together? Be interesting to see if this is similar tech to those horses at the Westworld.
Yes. And don't you still have the camera?
It is at the shop, yes.
We'll have to see if it is all connected.
Yes.
And then I'll kind of like knock on Aegis's armor and I'll be like, thanks, by the way.
Of course. Can't have one of us dying before we get paid.
Take the elevator. I'll get the elevator at least.
Scrunch
We're gonna have to
nail.
put in a special cargo elevator for agents.
Agents. I'm here enough.
So you reach the top. Mortimer welcomes you. There are fresh drinks on the table and a nice sort of fruit bowl, all different flavors and kinds. And he's just giddy. He's very excited. That was something, he says. You all fight very well.
Necessary in our line of business, I suppose.
Oh, of course, of course. Come join me for drinks.
It's a really good thing Aegis doesn't have like facial expressions, because they'd be giving them like, no shit, like we just realized that, like, didn't you hire us? But nothing.
Nothing. Blank stare.
Well, what else is he going to say?
I guess.
You guys suck.
No, that's what I basically think is, compliments.
Yeah.
He's the compliment guy. Like, no matter what you do, he's that guy who's going to give you some compliment.
Yeah.
So he slides back into the booth. I have to say that's unusual tech. Don't recall seeing beasts quite like that.
Yeah, they came in right after you. I mean, like right after you. I was watching from up here because I happened to be like checking out things over the balcony.
I hope they weren't after me. If
Well,
they
I
were,
hope so
thank
too.
you. But
I
I'm
hope so
sure.
too, because like, yeah, I mean, no offense intended, but well, you might be armed, and you've got the whirlybird.
I do try to be careful, particularly in my line of work, but I suppose it is conceivable someone was following. There is a first time for everything.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
No, that's some impressive avatars.
So, work.
Oh yes, sorry.
Yes.
You'd like to get paid. I understand. So he reaches into his jacket, pulls out a manila envelope, a familiar manila envelope. He says, "This job is a little dodgier than the others. We don't need you to rescue anyone. We don't need you to rescue any data. However, we would like you to gain access to an office that they would prefer not people accessing, and root around on some of the terminals, maybe find us some evidence, some information about the person."
The person whose office it is?
Yes. It's almost beneath you how easy
So
this
breaking
mission
and
is.
entering and a file search?
Yes.
Huh.
So, yes.
I mean, it's possible that you could get caught. I don't really foresee that happening, but the threat is always there. Basically, what it boils down to is we need someone to do it, and you're kind of our someones. The people that we have in our employ, none of them are really. Those who are less than you in ability are not up to the task of doing this. I almost want to apologize for even offering this job, because it's going to be super easy for you, but again, someone needs to do it.
If we will get paid, it will be fine.
All of us are like,
Well, I mean, seriously, I mean, yeah, it always sounds like things are going to be easy when you go to do them, but like within the last 15, 20 minutes, I mean, we were coming here to meet you for drinks, and coming to meet somebody for drinks is very easy, and it's not supposed to be dangerous. And that didn't turn out quite as like we planned. So you could understand why we might be a little wondering, well, what might we prepare for so that we don't, render ourselves incapable of earning our next fee.
Yes. Oh, legitimate concerns. Absolutely. The threat level on this one should be fairly low. The building does have security, but shouldn't be anything of any note to, particularly after watching you take care of this beast. A few security guards shouldn't be anything. And ideally, no one would see you anyway, because stealth is sort of the utmost importance here.
So security guards.
A few security guards, yes. And he slides them in an envelope across the table.
It's really good that he just doesn't have facial expressions when he's like, stealth is important.
Why is stealth important?
Well,
Clang, clang.
yeah. Went the trolley?
Well, it sounds like we need to read the file. Oh, Mook, I'm gonna assume that the way when there's a fee and then it's split, that we all get paid individually, right?
Yes.
It's not like a sum comes to one of us and we divide it. It's just like we know what that split is because we all have our weird routing that we do with our secret
Correct.
accounts. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because then for me, for our arrangement, like just basically nothing's going to come in, but they won't know that.
Right. There you go. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
So he stands. He takes one final drink and a few pieces of fruit from the bowl. He says, "Well, enjoy your reading. Enjoy your outing. This it's barely even worth calling it a mission. It's more of a picnic almost. So enjoy yourselves, and I will be in touch. Please message if you have any questions at all. Contact me. I'll be happy to do my part."
All right. Well, thanks. We'll look at it. If we have any questions, we'll definitely get right back to you.
Excellent. Ta-ta for now. And he makes his way to the elevator. You notice that the little ball follows him to the elevator and then goes over the edge when he's in the shaft, and then sort of meets him on the ground floor. And then you watch him walk out. So in the file are blueprints for an office building. Doesn't seem to be particularly hardened. Not a lot of defenses in place. It is substantially much less defended than the server farm that you broke into with the swiveling chain guns and all that. Doesn't seem like there's any of that stuff. It's just a normal kind of office building. It is the assuming you check on the address, it is the campaign headquarters for yet another politician.
Who?
That is a really good question.
Jimmy who, in fact.
Yeah. It's Sarah something. I'd like to give you a last name. Here. Levy. There we go. Sarah Levy. Sarah Levy.
Nobody doesn't like Sarah Levy.
No, nobody doesn't like Sarah Levy. Sarah Levy is running for mayor against Alistair Thorne. She has a very small sort of grassroots campaign and a small circle of hardcore supporters, but she doesn't have a broad enough base that she really poses any threat whatsoever to Alistair Thorne. But according to the information in the file, there's a map of the building, there's details on the building, there's sort of a synopsis of what they're looking for in exchange for the payment. And basically, you need to find your way somehow into this office building, plug in the small drive that is also in the envelope, and then just let it do its thing. It's going to scan the computer. It's going to pull together any evidence that it can find of wrongdoing. and is going to send that directly to the Electoral Commission for analysis. So basically, you're digging up dirt on this candidate so that consequences will follow. Seems like a super easy job.
This seems too easy. That always really bothers me.
It might be just that they want to keep their hands clean.
That is my worry, that we are being set up as fall guys and girl people.
Fall
people.
entities.
Well, think about what he told us last week. He told us that he's good as told us that they were looking at setting up Gregory Good for a run at the same office, right? So
Yes.
This is a third candidate with a small hardcore following. She'd be in the way of that.
Well, it seems that Gregory Good is currently not a candidate, and this is the one who is running against the mayor.
Oh,
So,
but not on behalf of them. Not on behalf of them.
No. So they need to eliminate her from being able to run. So perhaps they are looking for something with which to cause a scandal.
They just want to knock her voters loose.
Yes.
I am concerned at the apparent disparity between the abilities of us, though they are great, and whoever the next tier of people are that work for them, if they have no one else that could do this very simple task.
I think that is why I worry that they're setting us up as fall people. Because sorry?
Should we turn it down?
How much is it, Mook?
25 grand.
Each?
Total or each?
Each.
Including Dr. Discord.
Yes.
Because you would do this. Yeah.
I like how it always assumed the team is 4, and then we're just like, oh, well, you didn't show up. Sorry, bro.
I would like the money, but if we are going to turn down a job, it would seem that this would be an appropriate one. See what they would do.
Either that or we could not risk the whole team. It's a simple stealth mission. I can do it.
I cannot do stealth.
Are you not? You said that you don't mind the risk, or you really need the cash?
Yes.
There's nothing to say that we will have to turn over the information that is found.
No, there is. It sends automatically.
Oh,
we don't get to turn it over or not turn it over.
That's right. Sorry.
We in fact, it doesn't sound like we even get to know what it is.
This is what
I could certainly put a mirror drive on the thumb drive so that we retain a copy of whatever it assimilates and sends.
Oh, I like that.
That would be very informative.
But it doesn't seem right that, I mean, I know Mortimer said a few, I know he said a few security guards, but a few is not a number.
I can certainly start by looking the place over. If it seems like we need more people, that's fine. But perhaps if it is intended to be a trap, they will be counting on the fact that we are all there. And coming in a very different way will actually surprise them.
That is possible.
We can all go. I do not care. But I am saying that if there is concerns, this seems simple enough that I can do it. Stealth is my thing.
It is not my thing. I am fine with. I would possibly do more harm than good in this mission.
It's my thing.
I'm super glad your music's not playing when you said that.
Well, you know, it's everything's a choice. Timing.
Sure.
Life is timing.
Very true.
I would prefer to at least shadow you.
As you will.
That's if they're setting us up, I don't know. Normally I don't give a shit, but I don't feel good after the shiny wolf people about you going into no cover by yourself to do something where they might be sending enough who's it to remove all of us, whatever flavor of silver it might be.
Well, there is never anything that stops me from simply logging out. Well, as long as I don't get hit with a lasso, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that stops people, and we've seen one recently. So
perhaps you should not take yours with you, in case you are overpowered.
I'll shadow you.
You can come in quickly. You are quite fast with the wings.
Yes, I am fast. I am fast. No one can stop me.
Is there a timeline on this MOOC in the file?
It gives you a 72-hour deadline, so plenty of time, 3 days.
So we should let's plan to do it the third day, I will propose.
Okay.
And that gives us a couple of days to prep and follow up some stuff, like see if we can't make any headway on the blood sample, and
Yeah.
I have a research project I need to start.
Fair enough. So we got 3 days of downtime. Seems like Hex clearly has some stuff going on, and probably.
Well, I will give I consider that as far as I know, Jam is at least as good, if not a better hacker than I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy to offer having Jam try to sort out the blood sample.
Yeah, I'm happy.
You seem to be really good at tracing that stuff.
I'm happy to work on that. That's up my alley.
Very nice. And Aegis, is there anything you'd like to do for the next few days?
Probably just working, making sure my money's safe.
Oh, you should see what you can find out about that camera.
See, I don't know. I think I had it because I was just the last person. I don't know if I actually have any abilities to take it apart or anything. Because I think we were saving it for the doctor.
Oh, because you just have like armor repair specifically? You don't have like some kind of...
I think so. Let me look. I don't even know if I have that. I think I just have like a workshop because it seemed cool. I mean, it's all digital armor, so it's not really...
We've never talked about it. I'm sure I've just assumed you have some engineering ability. That's amazing.
Well, I mean, it's digital armor, so it's not like... I'm not like in there wrenching on it. It's like coding. I pay for upgrades.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that is true. Apart
Yeah.
from computer hacking, you have no others. Yeah.
It didn't occur to me to even take it because it's fake armor. It's not real.
That's the best. That's the best.
You could always take it to a camera shop.
I could. Does Doctor I feel like the Doctor had stuff. Like, was that part of our plan? We kept it for a reason.
Oh,
Well, then
he's
I
the
get-
one with
Yeah,
armoring.
I think we.
That's
Yeah, we took
Oh,
because because we took it back, and I think we were thinking that he would be able to get info from it. So I'm just kind of keeping it safe
gotcha.
Okay.
because I do that. That I do. Safe things.
That's funny.
We could take it to a camera shop, but I also am worried about the knowledge that this tech is out there getting out.
Yeah.
So.
That's funny. All right. Oh, you're in a giant suit of armor. You have a workshop. Of course you should be able to. Oh, wait, what? No?
Yeah. I also literally have no physical presence outside of the armor, so to work
Right.
but you don't know that, so.
No idea. I'm sure you've never disclosed that at all. It's just
No.
like, there must be somebody in a giant suit of armor. It's like not just a giant suit of armor.
It's just a giant suit of armor. Awesome.
So I would like to point out that Aegis is not necessarily excluded from the stealth mission.
Really?
There are things that you can,
You can go if you want. Wink, wink. As the GM, I'm completely
neutral here.
You could totally nail your stealth roll.
I just meant, maybe they could use a distraction, or maybe you could be nearby for backup. I hate to excise you from the plot entirely.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm fine with going if there's a reason, like standing guard out front or something like that. Like, there's a lot of things I can do.
Cool.
So do you want us to make
backup is not a bad idea. That's what I plan to be doing.
Yeah. Sort of like being around, probably not like right nearby because I'm sort of noticeable.
Right.
Right.
You could be
A little bit, yeah.
Well, but you can, you can both be there instantly, but then we can't leave instantly.
Right.
Right. So.
Yeah, leaving instantly is a little like save that daily for.
Yeah, it's usually pretty good for the
escape. Yeah.
So do you want us to make rolls for the 3-day thing?
Yes. So what are we doing? We're trying to track down some code information about this dog thing.
Yeah. I'm trying to analyze dog DNA.
Gotcha. So you're helping Jam?
I can. Sure, I'll give it a try. I'll help out. That's one of the things I can do. 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. Yes, I do not.
Nice.
I do not hinder.
You do help?
Yes.
Great. So that puts me at 13. And I roll a 11.
Okay. So the technology involved, the coding, probably a few days, a week ago, would not have meant anything to you. However, because you were researching Mortimer, and you came across this Christos the Mad Guy, you saw some samples of his code work. Because of that, you're able to put it together and this looks an awful lot like Christos's coding.
Oh, damn.
Nothing definitive, but they seem very similar to you.
Yeah. So I will duly report that back, and I will think, well, why would, if that's who we think, but I'm confused because if that's the guy who's trying to hire us, why would he want to kill us?
Because, as I said before, you work for someone right until you don't.
Or was that intended for Mortimer? Since they were following him, not you. The first one came in before you. And it was following him.
So do we think Mortimer's off the reservation? he's not working for Christos?
Well, or that perhaps he is working for him until he isn't. He sounds like he's working for him. I don't think he has that much money on his own.
So if that were the, unless he's working
I mean,
for
he
someone
buys
else.
drinks like he's buying them on an expense account.
Yes. He obviously is not coming out of his pocket. That is troublesome.
I agree. That is troublesome.
I wonder if we should tell him. I mean, if we tell him.
Well, that will do one of two things. It will either ingratiate Mortimer to us because this would be a surprise to him, or it will tip off to Christos that we know he's after us.
That's an or. So if we tell him and he doesn't already know, then if we tell him that and he doesn't already know, if they were sent against him and we tell him and he already knows, it's too many variables.
I think the single most important thing we have learned from this is that this is not going to be an easy mission.
Indeed.
It feels like an extra super bonus setup now.
Yeah, I don't like extra super bonus setup. Are you sure you want to go in alone now?
Oh, I think you should be there as backup, but I don't think all three of us going at the same time will be helpful.
All right.
Especially
I'm trying to
set up.
So there's the other thing I want to do, Mook, during this time, and I will, if any part of this is hacking, I will definitely take Jam's help on it, is I want to at least start the process of reverse engineering the lasso tech.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I looked up the rules for that. It's pretty extensive.
Yes, I figured it'll take a while. I probably have to start kicking off a research project, right?
Indeed. So there are a number of steps. The first one is due to the complexity of the technology. The minimum skill that you can have to even work on the project is 16.
Is that hacking?
In the case of this, it would be hacking or engineering.
Well, my hacking is higher and it's a 12. Shit.
Now, if Jam gives you a hand, that might get you a +1, possibly a +2 if she gets critical success, but that still leaves you a couple of points shy. Yeah.
And then does the adding time in help with that?
It does, but let's see, it's already, the default is 1D months to get a thing going. So if you take extra time, it could be, it could be a couple of years before.
Oh man.
Now I will point out that you have unspent character points.
Yes.
If you wanted to start becoming an Uber hacker, you could do that.
Yeah. So let's assume I'm kicking the project off, and then we can figure that out afterwards, because it might be. I don't know if it's easier for me to start upping my engineering or my hacking, because my engineering is at 10 and I've only got 1 point into it, whereas my hacking's at 12 and I've got 8 points into it.
Oh, right. Let's see. That's because hacking is a very hard skill. Engineering is only hard.
Right.
So, right. It might actually, point-wise, it might be quicker to raise your engineering.
Yeah. So, all right. It's nothing that's obviously going to happen like before the raid, so that's fine.
Sure.
But yes.
But just let it be known that you're starting to poke around with the thing and you're trying to
Yes.
figure out, okay. And
Yes.
so the knowledge that you're gaining by poking around this thing's insides and trying to replicate it is what's fueling your eventual character point spend on
Yes. Yeah.
engineering or computer hacking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice.
My eventual goal is that if I can reverse engineer it, I want to, in very ninja-like fashion, create a way to poison my blades with it. So when I stab somebody with it, and then they would normally log out, they don't.
Nice.
So like I'm basically trying to craft. I'm trying to craft a true assassin's blade.
That's cool. I was wondering what the end game was there.
Yeah, that's the end game.
I like it. So preparations have begun for that, but yeah, clearly that will be a slightly longer term thing.
Yes.
So
now we're at time-ish.
Yeah.
Creeping on that way, probably not a great place to start a brand new mission. Assuming, like, I don't want to cut you guys short either.
Yeah.
But it does seem like we get about 20 minutes into it and then be like, all right, it's kind of time. We should probably stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good place to pick up right away, like with the mission at the next session.
Exactly. So how about we do that so that next time we can just kind of jump in? Like, what kind of preparations you guys are working on? Do you have a rough plan, anything like that?
Nice.
I'm going to be doing some costume prep, but I haven't decided what it is.
Okay. So you're going in incognito. Excellent.
Well, no, but I feel I need a color scheme change.
I see.
Nice.
It would be good for us. I think it'd be good to be looking at things like if there's other schematics we can pull, or building plans or anything more than whatever is in the dossier.
Okay.
And then probably during that time period, making sure we're doing a visual on this place as well.
Okay.
To just try to figure out like how security is it, and pick a couple different times, like kind of during the daytime and then like an overnight period, just trying to suss out. And then maybe also see if we can find out what security company they use.
Okay.
I'm going to run during that time. Also, I may see if there's an opportunity to poke around the computers on the same network I'm on at home and see if there's any non-publicly available information on this Susan.
Oh, Sarah Levy.
Sarah Levy. See if there's anything, see if I can find out anything more than in advance than I can just find by the public feeds.
Okay, cool.
Because I'd like to have some idea what it is that we're looking for and add and have a better idea of what the positions are of the players.
Perfect. Sounds good. Aegis, you cook anything up?
I'd like to think about it, actually. I also know,
Cool.
I think next session we'll have Doctor back, so
Yay.
yay, very excited. So I feel like we're gonna have to like recalibrate the plan a little bit.
Maybe.
That's a good call, yeah.
So it might be good to have a little bit of chat about that at the beginning of next session. So.
And we should totally make sure that Tyler watches this episode. And then we should do some like offline chatting too, so we don't like suck down the first hour of the next session
Talking.
You know
yeah,
what it is.
well,
I know what he's doing. He's not around for us because he's moonlighting with some other team in some other virtual city.
That's what it is.
Oh,
Oh man.
that hussy.
No loyalty.
Bastard.
See, Aegis is just sort of convinced that he might be like a narc. So he suddenly is like out. He's suddenly gone. It's like,
The
trying to
narc,
find
he
it.
only works Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
That's why we never.
All right. Thank you guys for watching us play today. It's been super, super fun. Thank you, Mook, like for always, running our amazing games.
Thanks, guys. It was awesome.
Yeah, this game is in multiple time zones, and it's fantastic. Thank you guys for joining us from the UK, Bill and Elspeth. And we will be back with this game on the first Saturday of next month. If you want to catch up, you can check it all out at happyjacks.org/YouTube. And that will take you to the YouTube page, and you can catch up on all the videos there. All right. Thank you, guys. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.